Good day, everyone. I am Trisha San Antonio, and I will be introducing our group activity from theory to action promoting health in Filipino communities with our chosen topic teenage pregnancy among adolescents in rural barangays, a community based health education campaign using the trans theoretical model in the theory of recent action. And here are the members of the group four. And here are the objectives that we aim to achieve for today's presentation. First, to provide a comprehensive discussion on the prevalence and consequences of teenage pregnancy among adolescents in rural barangays. To present the theoretical framework of the campaign utilizing the trans-theoretical model and the theory of reasoned action. And lastly, to propose community-based health education strategies aimed at addressing and reducing the incidences of teenage pregnancy. Now for the background of the issue, so teenage pregnancy is a persistent public health issue in the Philippines, and according to the Commission on Population and Development or POPCOM 2021, approximately 10% of Filipino girls aged 15 to 19 have already begun childbearing, and the problem is more pronounced in rural barangays where limited access to reproductive health services, the strong cultural taboos, and the lack of comprehensive sex education heighten the vulnerability, and that is according to De Castro and Estrada 2020. And adolescents in these areas are particularly at risk due to poverty, misinformation, and the signs of stigma associated with seeking contraceptives services, and barriers such as long travel distances, lack of confidentiality, and the cost of care function discourage them from accessing the health services, and that is according to Jenny Corbin 2022. Now, this campaign focuses on adolescents aged 13 to 19 in rural barangays, including both in-school and out-of-school youth, while also engaging parents, the teachers, the community leaders, and health providers as a secondary audiences. It emphasizes the equity by prioritizing girls at higher risk due to poverty and early union, while also involving boys and young men to promote shared responsibility in preventing early pregnancy. And addressing teenage pregnancy, therefore, requires culturally sensitive, stage-based, and community-driven interventions that improve the knowledge, reshape the attitudes, and also engage families and communities in changing social norms.
The trans-theoretical model, or the TTM, explains that behavior change does not happen all at once. It goes through stages. These stages are pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, and maintenance. For example, in the case of adolescents in rural areas, some may be in the pre-contemplation stage, meaning they are not yet aware of or concerned about the risk of early pregnancy. Others may be already in the contemplation stage where they start thinking about the consequences and possible preventive actions. Some may be in the preparation and action stage where they begin already practicing safe sexual behaviors, while others may be in the maintenance stage where they start consistently practicing these behaviors to avoid relapse. For the theory of reasoned action, or TRA, says that a person's intention is the best predictor of their behavior. This intention is influenced by two main factors. First, their attitude towards the behavior, whether they see it as good or bad, and second, the subjective norms, or what they think important people around them, like family, friends, or the community, expect them to do. When we apply this to the teenage pregnancy, it means that adolescents' decision about the contraception depend on not only on the personal beliefs but also on how they think others will react. For example, if a teen believes using contraception is responsible but also feels there is a stigma from parents and peers, the pressure can greatly affect their choices.
So next is the comparison of the theories. While the TTM, or the trans-theoretical model, provides a framework for assessing readiness to change, while the TRA, or the theory of reasoned action, explains the underlying beliefs and social influences that shape the intentions. TTM is stage-based and useful for tailoring interventions, while TRA, on the other hand, emphasizes the motivational and normative components that drive behavior. Used together, the models provide a comprehensive approach to address teenage pregnancy prevention. The trans-theoretical model, or TTM, and the theory of reasoned action, or TRA, complement each other in understanding and influencing behavior. The TTM outlines the different stages individuals pass through when considering and adopting change, ranging from being unaware or unready to preparing, taking action, and maintaining new behaviors. This stage-based structure is valuable because it allows interventions to be tailored depending on where an individual is in the change of process. In contrast with the TRA, it focuses less on stages and more on the psychological and social drivers of behavior. It highlights how personal beliefs, attitudes, and the influence of important social groups, such as peers, family, or community norms. This shapes intentions, which then lead to action.
So next is the rationale for chosen model. So teenage pregnancy prevention requires intervention that address both readiness to adopt safe practices and the influence of social norms. So the TTM allows us to map interventions across stages of change, while TRA helps to shape attitudes and social pressures surrounding sexual health. So this combination ensures interventions that are developmentally appropriate, culturally relevant, and evidence-based. So the teenage pregnancy remains a major public health concern here in the Philippines, especially in rural barangays. So according to PAPCOM 2021, about 10% of girls aged 15 to 19 have already begun childbearing. So to address this, we choose to combine the trans-theoretical model and the theory of reasons action. So the TTM help us to understand adolescent readiness to change, while TRA focuses on reshaping attitude and social norms around sexual health. So together, these models guide intervention that are developmentally appropriate and culturally sensitive, and also effective in promoting safe practices.
We have the behavior with stages of change in trans-theoretical model. Stage 1 is pre-contemplation. Behavioral state. Adolescents are not yet considering safe sexual practices. Some may deny risk or believe myths. Interventions. Information drives in schools and barangays about the consequences of teenage pregnancy. Peer-led discussions to raise awareness of real-life impacts such as school dropout, financial burden, and health risk. TRA link. Using the theory of recent action, attitudes can be improved by correcting misconceptions such as the belief that contraceptives are dangerous or that teen pregnancy is normal. At the same time, subjective norms can be strengthened by emphasizing the influence of role models such as teachers, peers, and parents who actively promote the importance of delaying pregnancy and making responsible choices for a better future.
For stage 2 of trans-theoretical model, which is contemplation, the behavior state is that adolescents are already aware of the risk of unsafe sex, such as unplanned pregnancy. However, they are still uncertain or undecided about practicing safe sex or using contraception. There are several reasons for this, such as lack of knowledge, embarrassment in securing contraceptives, or hesitation to ask about proper safe sex practices. Then, for the intervention, small group peer education. Discussion with health professionals to weigh pros and cons. Then another is we have testimonies from teen mothers who face challenges showing real consequences. For the TRA link, using the theory of reasoned action or TRA, safe sex practices can be promoted by emphasizing their positive outcomes such as allowing young people to continue their education and achieve their personal goals without interruption. At the same time, shaping subjective norms is important, which can be done by involving youth leaders, religious groups, and barangay councils to make discussions about reproductive health more accepted and normalized within the community.
Following stage 2 would be stage 3, which is the preparation stage. Behavioral state. Adolescents are willing to act soon, such as considering abstinence, using contraception, or accessing services. The interventions. Workshops on diffusion skills, negotiation in relationships, and contraceptive options. Encourage adolescents to set personal life goals such as finishing school before starting a family. The TRA link, or the theory of recent action, Attention can be strengthened by engaging young people in goal-setting activities, such as creating vision boards and making pledges. These activities help them clearly visualize their future aspiration, reinforcing the importance of making responsible choices that support their long-term goals and encouraging them to commit to safe and healthy.
Stage 4 is called action. This is the point where adolescents are not just learning or preparing anymore. They're actually putting healthy behaviors into the practice. That could mean choosing abstinence, using contraceptives regularly, or engaging in safer sexual practices. At this stage, the real goal is to help them maintain and strengthen those choices. For interventions, are the keys here, for instance, giving adolescents confidential access to youth-friendly clinics helps them get the services they need without fear or judgment. Creating peer support groups or mentorship programs also makes a huge difference because people can encourage each other, share experiences, and build confidence together. From the lens of the theory of reasoned action or TRA, we know that subjective norms matter a lot. If teens see that most of their peers are already making safe and responsible decisions, those behaviors start to feel normal and socially accepted. And when something feels normal, it's much easier to follow. So, by making healthy behaviors visible, valued, and supported, both by peers and by trusted adults, we give adolescents the best chance to stay on track with those positive practices.
Next is stage 5 is called the maintenance. At this stage, adolescents are able to continue the safe practice and avoiding pregnancy and showing that they can sustain what have they learned. And to support this, we can give recognition to the youth and advocates through award or certificate. And we provide continuous support and monitoring in the school and the barangays. Using the theory of reason and action or the TRA, their attitudes are strengthened by reminding them of the benefits of staying safe, like protecting their health and focusing on their future goals. At the same time, subjective norms are reinforced when they encourage their peer to do some the same. This creates a positive environment where responsible choices and supported, recognized, and valued by the whole community.
So for the summary, through this integrated and theory-based and community-centered approach, the campaign aims to lower the teenage pregnancy in rural barangays. It seeks to strengthen the adolescents' knowledge, influence their attitude, and encourage healthier behavior while building supportive environment that enable informed choices. By combining the stage-based framework of the theoretical model with the attitudinal and normative insights of the theory of reasoned action, the program addresses not only individual behavior change, but also broader shift in community norms, helping ensure long-term and sustainable impact. And this is our references.
In rural barangays remains a processing concern that calls for awareness, education, and collective action. By understanding its causes, consequences, and possible interventions, we as future health professionals and members of the community can play an active role in guiding the youth towards their healthier and more empowered choices. On behalf of our group, we sincerely thank you for listening to our report and for giving us the opportunity to share insights on this important issue. Your attention and engagement means a lot as we work together towards solutions that will shape a brighter future for our adolescents. Leaving you an ending quote: when we invest in the dreams of the youth, we prevent cycles of struggles and give rise to the generation of hope. Thank you everyone for listening.